What's up? How's everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody's having an awesome time. Welcome to the Tuesday night call-in show where you guys get to give your perspective about what you saw on Sister Wives, how you felt about it, or just anything in general. I'm going to post the magical, mystical uh, link information. Just give me 2 seconds. If you guys can hear me, you can see me okay. Just give me a one in the chat to let me know that everything is cool, copacetic. You guys are here. You ready to rock and roll? Go ahead and hit that like button while we are waiting for the room to fill up a little bit. And I'm getting everything together. Very excited to hear what you guys have to say. The weird part about this last episode, if I'm going to keep it all the way a buck, 100%, 100, keep it all the way honest, is there wasn't a lot to like this. Like, I feel like we've reached the stage in like the Sister Wives fandom where we just aren't where we were when the show first started. You know, like it just inhalation aerosols. What's going on? We just aren't where we were before, because before we would have these moments where it was like hot button issues or topics or things of note, and technically, like especially in the earlier parts of the series, you could go through and there'd be tons of things to talk about, tons of things to discuss, who said what, when, where, what they look like. And we're not, like, I'm just not feeling that right now. But I do think that there are some positives, and I'm going to try to be more positive about the show. I'm going to try. It's not that hard. I mean, it's not. See, the thing is, it's not the fault necessarily of the people who are on the show. It's really who drives the show, who's paying the bills, who's keeping the lights on. Because as I say with even like the Brown family and the Brown family failure, a lot of that is due to the people who are supposed to be leading the family or in charge of the family or guiding the family or failing to meet their responsibilities. We can blame a lot of, it's the evilness of Cody and Robin infiltrating the Sister Wives platform. But I mean, at the end of the day, as I've said with Cody to Robin, irregardless of the demands that they make, it's up to TLC to decide what they're going to put on the air and what they're not. If they came to them, I guarantee you, if TLC went to Robin and Cody and they put up some kind of protest that, oh, we're not going to be on the show unless you do what we say. Okay, fine. You're not going to be on the show, which means that you're not going to get a check, which means good luck trying to pay for that $2.1 million house. Well, I mean, when we say we wasn't going to be on the show, we didn't mean, let's not get crazy here. So what I'm pushing for really is I'm pushing for TLC to bite the bullet on this one. Take responsibility, lead, make sure that you're respecting your audience members and providing, something of substance. Don't just, it just feels like a paper chase at this point. But here's the link. All right. Let me put I got to rearrange some stuff. Here's the link. Okay. So we'll give everybody 2 minutes because I got to make sure that, I'm doing everything I need to be doing. But yeah, so the link I posted the link. I'm going to pin it up top. So if you guys want to come in and give your thoughts on the situation, that'll be awesome. I mean, I think that it's fair enough to talk about, like, speaking of this show, some of the net positive things that we can say about uh like uh polygamy in this instance, the way they're trying to revitalize. I feel like they're, if this is a TV show, they'd be the paramedic just trying to pump on the chest to bring this bad boy back to life. Like the whole idea or the argument or discussion on polygamy, because that's one of the things that Christine had said during her time when she was talking about Janelle. Oh, it's nice because this is why I wanted to be a part of a poly family, so that my kids could get something from somebody else and they would have like a lot of siblings and all that. So, you know, it is what it is. I think that the nice thing is that there was a connection between Peyton and like polygamy aside, because they call it polygamy. And when I was a kid, story time. When I was a young man, right? My mother has a sister, right? Or yeah, she has a sister because my aunt is still alive. But even with my mother's sister alive, who she adores or adored, right? Even with that, I remember that there were she had a group of friends whom were part of our extended family, what she called the extended family. And I remember there's two times, like before my mom passed, there were two times when I knew I could see it, right? I could see the physical and emotional toll a loss had on her. And it made me very nervous about it. The first was when my cousin passed away. And the second was when her good friend, sister from another mister, Barbara, had passed away. Right? That broke my mother's heart. And what these ladies refer to as a sister wife, we would just, in my community, we just call that a friend. Right? Right. You grow up with their kids, you cool with their kids. If something were to happen, you could pick up the phone and call them. Something were to happen to your parents, you could pick up the phone and call them. Anyone like if my aunt wasn't available, or if my parents were out with my aunt, my uncle, right? And something were to happen to them, I knew, even as a young man, that I could pick up the phone and I could call any one of those extended family members, and they would drop everything to come help us out, right? And it's just weird to me, even watching Seeking Sister Wives. That's one of the things that they keep saying, like the ladies, like, I just want to have a friend. Like, you could go get friends. You could have a friend that ain't screwing your husband. Like, it's okay, you know? And make a friend who's not sleeping with your husband. And that way you guys don't have to sit there and compete for time and attention. You can get clear advice and consultations and counsel from individuals who aren't, personally invested in your relationship. If my mom was having a disagreement with my dad and she went to go talk to one of her girlfriends, she doesn't have to balance or weigh out whether the information that they're providing for her or giving to her, or the advice or observations that they're making and providing to my mom. My mom didn't have to worry whether they were giving advice to help her or whether they're just trying to position themselves better so they could sleep with my dad easier. Like, that's the difference. I think that's the biggest difference between like how they see, like, oh, we're just one big family. I mean, that shit is cool, but it's all about labels at that point. Because the same way she would say, like, Christine married Janelle, even Robin, and even probably Cody, and anybody in this like type of lifestyle would say, we're sisters and we have a close bond in a relationship. Well, my mother had that same bond. The only difference was she wasn't trying to screw her friends' husbands, and her friends weren't trying to screw her husbands. Because if they were to do that, they would no longer be friends. Like, you know what I mean? That'd be a damn rap. There's no, oh, your husband's kind of cute, I like his shoulders. Like, that's not a thing. You know what I mean? That's not a thing. And these ladies, if you was too flirty with somebody, like I remember they had like one lady who was trying to come into the group that they had, and she was too damn friendly with the misters. You know what I mean? Like she was always smiling up in somebody's face. Oh, they let her know. Like they let her know straight up. Like that shit do not fly around here. Like you might as well you can pack your bags because we don't play them kind of games over this way. So I don't know. That's just my whole thing. Like I think that it's a net positive that they had these close relationships where they could rely on each other. It's just like I said, and I kind of went off on Sunday about the whole, polygamy is better than monogamy or it's harder than monogamy. Monogamy is hard too, and it's hard in its own way. But I will say that the advantages that they say they have as polygamists, monogamists find those same advantages in friendships. They just don't try to because technically you guys, as much as we're gonna call a spade, like they could all call themselves, my mom could have and her friends could have called themselves sisters, right? And then maybe on some level they considered themselves sisters, not biological sisters. Fine. Right. But that's no different than what these ladies are doing because the only substantive difference is that you're recognized by your church as being a part of one family, which, if we're going to be honest, when you root all through everything and you cut it down to bare bones, it just basically means that nothing. It means nothing, really. It just means nothing. Because there's no legally binding thing. Like the thing that makes marriage, if we're going to call it what it is the legally binding part. That's when people say that we're fighting for equal rights to get married or to have our relationships recognized, our unions recognized. That's what they're talking about. It's not just the fact that they can say, that's my husband or that's my wife or whatever. What they're fighting for is the legal representation that they have as a partner, a legal partner. If they get sick, you get to go see them in the hospital. If you're not a legal partner, like one of the craziest things to me is if Cody was on his deathbed, he was out back cutting them trees down, and one of them trees fell on top of his ass. Boom! Right? And his feet sticking out like the little, the Wicked Witch of the West. You know what I mean? And he rolling up because he take the not Wicked Witch of the West, whoever, the one that got crushed right by the house, Dorothy's house, right? Cody out there with the tree on top of him. The ambulance come out and get him. The wives, everybody, the whole family go out to the hospital. You know who gets to make the decisions? Robin, because she's the legal wife. Well, Mary's been with him longer. She's known him for 35 years. Christine has known him for 30 years. Janelle's known him for 30 years. Robin's only known him for 10 years, and she's only using him for money. It doesn't matter because her name appears on the documents. She goes down there with her wedding certificate. It don't matter. The wedding certificate is everything. She could tell him like, Cody was about to change his will and leave Cowdy Pass to all the children. Well, unfortunately for you, he did not sign that document, and the doctor just spoke to me about pulling the plug. So let me go in there, yoink, right? She gets to make those decisions. Cody wouldn't want to live like that. That's too bad. Because I got, he get in a car accident with somebody, and they're like, oh, well, you can get paid more if you keep him on life support for a year and a half, but he's suffering like hell. She can look at him and say, oh, well, because I'm the wife. I get to make the decision. There's no voting. There's no other opinions. If he was on his last legs and the doctor said, okay, you can, send in, he could see 5 people. Robin could go in there and say, okay, me and my kids. Me and my kids. And we're just going to say bye. What about the other wives? Shouldn't they say bye? No. And that's it. But I'm going to hear, enough of my prattling. We're going to go to Sharon. She's the first in the box. Hey, Sharon, what's going on? You got 2 minutes.
Hey, James, how are you this evening?
How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Doing very well.
So there's still more I want to know. I mean, I know these first 4 episodes of this season and stuff have not been, the be all end all kind of thing and stuff, but there's still more I want to know. I mean, I would love to know what the Dargers think of this.
Mm.
I would love, especially him. I would love to know, because I mean, Cody sits there and says that his wives didn't, homogenize like the Dargers' wives did. Well, brother, you needed to step it up too. I, I mean, there was lots that he did or didn't do. And I got a question for you, just out of curiosity. Who do you think did the more manipulation, and do you think that Cody and Robin manipulated together?
Well, I think that here's the thing. I think that I'm taking your answer and I'm going to change it a little bit. I'll pause the clock 1 second. What I think they're doing is I think they worked together in their manipulation, but I will give the addendum of they work together for different reasons.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they have an objective that, what is it? There are temporary the temporary friendships and allegiances, but permanent interests. And they've always served their own permanent interest, which is themselves.
Right.
So by them serving themselves, I think that they complement each other. Like it's almost the match made in heaven or match made
Yeah.
in hell, whichever situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I said, I mean, I felt like that she came in a manipulative state. Just from listening to you and watching the show and listening to the 444 and all that kind of stuff, and how her mom was that way and that kind of thing. I feel like she came in manipulating. He, I think he was manipulated by her to begin with, and then I think they began to work together
Mm,
for the manipulation. I mean, I don't know. It's just my take on it. I'd still like to know what happened with McKelty and what broke that kind of thing and stuff. We may not ever know, but if they're wanting to keep the show on, they better pick it up with some of this juicy stuff that we, as the fans that have been fans for so long or watched for so long, would like to know.
right, right,
And see, Cody better be careful, because see, he's already at the point where she's got the control. It happened that way whenever they like legally married. It's about like Diary of a Mad Black Woman. See that brother there, he would have been gone if it would have been still up to the new girl.
hmm,
He would have been gone.
right,
But see,
right,
the old ones, see, and I still think the same thing. I think the old ones would probably still try to keep him. You know what I mean?
hmm,
To try to save him, kind of thing and stuff. Not out of love, but maybe just for their kids. And I think Christine's right. I think that Janelle's kids had a harder time of letting go because he was closer to her kids forever. I
right,
think I think if it's true what Maddie said, that Leon had already made peace with it, kind of thing and stuff. I think it was because I mean, they were neglected by Cody as bad as Christine's kids was.
right, right,
Not paying for a college, not paying for the car, and not spending much time with her and that kind of thing and stuff, just like he did Christine's kids.
right,
But
right.
like I say, I I find the stuff funny about the new house and about that. It's a cinder mine
Yeah,
near there. They say the one of the other podcasters and stuff said that that's why the house was dark. The house had been on the market for so long partly because of that kind of thing. Well, if that's the case, then what about Saul having RSV? And what about Robin having had pneumonia before? But I mean, you gonna live over there? Okay, good luck with that.
you know what? That's actually a really good point because in some of these areas, like it's they can be manageable.
Right,
Um, in some of these, like with these types of hazards, there's a real part where if you purchase one of these homes, you recognize going into it that, and this is where it kind of cuts against what Cody represents. When you purchase one of these homes, these types of homes, that you might be very well stuck with it. Like, so
right,
you should love this property because the people who are potentially going to buy it from you if you want to sell is extremely small. So you better love the hell out of this property because this is where you're gonna be. They're gonna bury your bones here,
right,
right?
right. Well, that's what
and the
Robin wanted all along. Somewhere's where you could bury the bones.
right, exactly. But Cody hates that. And he was talking about like even, back in like season 15, not long after they got to Arizona, he was talking about moving from Arizona.
Yeah. Oh
Right. And
yeah.
that's what made season 16 so crazy because he had talked to Christine about moving out of Arizona, telling her that he wanted to go back to Utah. And then hyped her up about going back to Utah. And at that point, she was resistant about going back to Utah. Then update the situation come season 16. She's like, okay, well, I'm all about moving back to Utah. Clearly, Cody wants to go back to Utah, so I have an ally. And then he embarrassed her because she presents it, and then he has the group tell her no.
Right.
So
Well,
he
see, and
the
then
whole
when he
time he was
came,
talking about moving.
when he met her back out at the property on that same season, to say he was sorry about that because he said in the one, I think it was one of the ones of the more to love kind of thing, he said he was giddy. He said
Mm,
he was giddy when they talked about moving. It was just him and her was talking about moving to you, with her wanting to move to Utah, and she brought it up to him. He
right.
said right then when he apologized for not supporting her out there that he was giddy about it. But then when she says it on the porch, no, he wasn't giddy about it. Maybe it was that knife in the kidney messing with him. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like I say, they still stuff that I want to know, kind of thing. So I mean, I hope it picks up the pace again, kind of thing and stuff, and starts putting it out there. Because you're gonna put it out there, then let's put it out there.
Right,
I
right.
mean, you ain't got no relationship with her now, no ways, and that ain't because she moved to North Carolina. Because you quit having a relationship with her long before that,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Right.
And I mean, I like to say, there's still lots I want to know, kind of thing and stuff about things. I guess some of the kids may not want to be involved in it, and I mean, I know they don't. Some of them don't, kind of thing, and I get it, but I don't know. We've supported them all this time. You'd think, okay, y'all bring it out. Let's hear it.
Right, right.
As James Lyson said, let's keep it 100. Let's just keep
Yeah,
it 100 now. Come on, bring it back up to 100 because we need to know.
right, right. If you want to tell us, tell us. But if you don't want to tell us, just say you don't want to tell us and let that be that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
yeah, no, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. And
Yeah.
as long as it's on, I'll keep watching with the hopes of that. Now, see, the good Christian in me don't want Robin and Cody to suffer, but the human in me wants to see them reap what they sow a little bit. I'm just
Right,
gonna be
right,
honest about it, you know. And I've never liked Robin from day one, kind of thing, because I felt like she was manipulating all along, kind of thing. But the other part of it is that how can you love somebody and trust somebody with your kids that's gonna do the way he's done with these other kids?
right,
It's
right.
the tell, man. It's just the tell all. I don't want nobody around my kids that's going to do that way to anybody, especially their own kids. But,
Yeah.
that's just me. Well, listen, I've enjoyed talking to you, and I'll let you get to the other callers. You have a good evening.
You too, Sharon. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, yeah. Bye bye.
All right. Sharon hit some good points. I mean, I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her. Because if you've been watching the show for this long, there's a good reason why you've been watching the show for this long. You are invested, right? And like I said, the people who've been watching this show, I think that they want to see the wives do well. They want to see like new content. They want to see something else. But if they are so hell bent on keeping things private, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to come out. I'm on for the record. There's nothing wrong with them keeping things to themselves, saying that things are too private or off limits, whatever the case may be. However, if 99.9% of your life is off the table to talk about, then what are we watching? And that's where I have complications with some of this. But let me get to some of the we had some super chats come in. I just want to make sure I hit those before I go on to the next caller. We have inhalation aerosols, $1.99 super chat. Let's chat. It's been too long. Thank you so much, inhalation aerosols. Let me give you a little something, something. You know what? I haven't seen you around in a bit, so you're right. It has been a little bit. Let me give you a little something, something. Then we had Jody Periscala, 9.99 super chat. I've been posting on Facebook and asking us to push forward about other cast members and their new lives. Please be honest. I feel like I am trying to rock the boat, and I don't mean to. No, I don't think you're rocking a boat. I mean, look, this is not one of those channels. This is not one of those channels. If you feel like something, or if you observe something, or you disagree with me, you are more than welcome to get on here and disagree with me. I have no problem with that. I am not, I ain't soft. I'm not that dude. Okay. If I couldn't withstand somebody disagreeing with me, then like I'm saying about Sister Wives, I'm not a hypocrite in this respect. I am not going to post something here on a YouTube or in a public forum and then demand that nobody comment or give their perspective on something that I'm saying. If I put my ideas out into the public forum, then I'm doing so with the full understanding and almost expectation that there are going to be people who are going to disagree with what I'm saying, with my observations. I don't have an issue with that. I think that that's just healthy dialogue. That's how you test what you believe and what you're doing, and how you're moving forward and how you're presenting yourself. So there's nothing wrong with you coming out and saying, like, let's talk about other characters. The problem that I have, though, is that people who don't want to be involved with the show, and this is actually in line with what I was just saying. People who don't want to be involved with the show, and I'm only saying their names as examples. Leon, Logan, right? Hunter. Like Hunter will splash in here and there, do like a guest spot, and then he zips back out. Gwen, a lot of the Isabel is pops on every now and again. But if their kids, the oldest child, um, Robin's oldest, Dayton, if he doesn't want to have his life presented on the show, then I won't do him the disservice or them the disservice of talking about what's going on with them, even if I know. Because I figure if they want us to know what was going on with them, they would either appear on the show or they would put it on their social media sites or whatever to give their opinion. But otherwise, that's their business. I treat that almost like I would treat my neighbors. Like, I'm not going to go over to my neighbor's house with a camera, film them, and then start doing commentary on what they have going on at their house. That's just me. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it. If you put your voice into the public arena, then you should expect to have your voice challenged, scrutinized, in some cases criticized, or even celebrated. That's just how I'm kind of seeing it. But to answer your other question, Jody, my always gonna be pissed. But my new content will be a combination of things that I was doing before. I'll say it that way. Okay, so if you guys like the Monday motivational stuff, if you like that kind of commentary, where I'm, especially with a lot of what I see on Sister Wives and TLC, not even just Sister Wives, TLC in general, I want to try to go to more of a positive place. And because I've always kind of held that this was a positive place channel. So I want to try to make it more positive. So I want to come out with content that's a lot more positive, a lot more uplifting. And I think conversations and discussions that we need to have, which may or may not deal specifically with reality shows or things we see on TV, but instead we're going to talk about like life. We're going to talk about life because we all got one. We all live in one, so we might as well talk about that thing that we're all using, that thing we all have in common. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, if I didn't hit your point, Jody, just let me know. Um, yeah, I see the comment. I'm just burnt out. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I'm a little singed too. I'm a little singed too because, like I said, the part of the reason why I think that people are so burnt out from Sister Wives isn't just the stressors of um the drama on the show. I think that they're like because poor example, poor analogy, but I'm going to run with it because I can't think of anything right off the top. But table topics. But if you're in the if you're a person, you're in a war zone, you have that heightened sense of awareness, that heightened adrenaline, and that becomes your new normal. And the way this show was before, the conflicts, the disagreements, the challenges, the shady ass behavior, that put us into a state of normalcy where we expected to see that on a daily basis. Now we're seeing like just a pared down, dried up shadow of what Sister Wives used to be, and we're still trying to hold on to Sister Wives as we were first introduced to it, you know. But it's just, they don't have that new contribution, and it feels like, and I've said this before, and I'm just being honest, like I just feel like they've run out of story to tell. Like they don't have anything else to say. So this is like if you were watching the comic book stuff, the Marvel build up stuff, when they went through all those like 40 movies or whatever, and then they come to the big in-game movie, uh, and everything is over. It's like ta-da, and then it's all over. This is the equivalent of you going back and watching any one of those superheroes just doing a regular day's work. Like they go get up in the morning, they eat breakfast, then they go to work, then they come home, they work out, and maybe practice whatever thing they do or work on something like that, and then they go to bed. Right? That's not a movie. That's certainly not $1 billion blockbuster. Right? And I feel like we're at that stage with the show. So, but then that's kind of the frustration. Plus, there's the added disincentive that it seems like all the wrong people are winning, if that makes sense. But yeah, thank you so much, Jody. Let me give you a little something, something. All right, appreciate you. And then we have Linda coming to the stage next. Linda, give me your. Oh wait, hold on. What the hell? Linda coming to the stage. Give me your 2 minutes of hotness. What's going on,
Hey,
Linda? How you doing?
Linda's coming in as smooth as silk. I am not hot, my carpenter. So, nope, there'll be no cussing, no carrying on. I am good because there was I was waiting. One of our family, Vixen, she
Mm,
wrote, "What made this interesting was the kids." So there's our second carpenter in the group. She hit the nail on the head,
mm,
and that's where I'm gonna go off from because you know, as you know, I've said it a million times, got rid of TLC. I'm not watching it, but I can't help the things that come on my feed. And I'm getting angrier and angrier because what I'm seeing is that TLC went from their original objective of let's look at how people live differently to this good versus evil. And right now, evil is winning. And
mm,
the kids made it interesting because they're living it. You got their perspective. You just see, does this work? Doesn't. And what you started with at the top made so much sense because when they started, they didn't want to put their religion forward or the AUB. So they started putting you have a family, you have your friends. And just like you said, not to repeat, but I got friends. And if I want to babysit their kids, I'll babysit all the kids. They could have all the community they want. You
mm,
don't have to marry the same man and have sex with the same man for that. So they started off on the wrong foot. And they started off with the lies. But the kids are what made it interesting. And going in on that, McKelty was on another program, but I don't subscribe to her Patreon. So when she's talking to other folks and they put her thing on, I listen to it. So McKelty was narrating a story that made no kind of sense. Something about she didn't get that clatter ring, and Robin had lied to Christine and said she got it, and Christine is going on, but Robin, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, do you ever talk to your kids? Why are you
mm,
taking Robin's word? Why didn't you ask McKelty if she got it, right? But that's not the important part. McKelty is going on about what a real wild child she was. Like she'd go to parties, get drunk, her mother would have to pick her up. She had a sleepover with a friend and she wanted to experiment, having sex with her best friend in her home and with a big old hickey. Now, when
mm,
she said that, when the narrator's going, these are things teenagers did. Listen, I never did shit like that in my house. I was very well behaved. I followed the rules. The stuff I did on the outside, with the fights and whatever, my family never knew about. I was all about protecting my family. So when you hear that saying, oh, kids will be kids, no. So I started getting an idea, like, Mary, not to defend her, but, just to like hear me out on this point, and I want your feedback on it. Mary must have seen that this girl's going down the road to hell and Christine is letting her. So as a mother, she could have stepped in. Now, could she have slapped her around a little bit in the back of the head? I don't know anyone here who didn't get slapped as a kid. I know I got my ass beat now and again, even though I was pretty good. All right. But if I were to do some disgraceful stuff like that in my home with a girl or a boy, please, I don't think I would be telling the tale today. Right? Because there's a level of respect, of integrity that you have to raise your children with, even if they're in high school. You're supposed to have done that from the beginning. But the last thing I'm going to say before I say other stuff, because I want your take on this real quick. McKelty said what I said, and paraphrasing it. It's sort of like dad gave up on us or stopped loving us as we got older. He was better with the smaller kids. Something to that effect. I didn't write it down because, the shock hit me. I'm like, damn, I wish I had James' phone number. Listen to this, James. Listen to what McKelty said. But to get to the point, this is dead and stinking. And if TLC really wants to show polygamy, they would give the Dodgers a show because they seem to have it right. So what you think?
Well, as far as like Mary is concerned, like I said, I think she had her own view of child raising, which may have been contradictory. Like, because here's the challenge. If you have one parent who's telling you that you can have sleepovers and the other parent is telling you that you can't,
Yeah,
create problems. It can also accelerate the aggression from the parent who is saying that you can't, because now they feel like they don't have support from the other parent, and that creates a whole like problem. That creates, I mean, really, it's a problem because it's like you want to be on the same page. Like everybody's probably heard that before. You don't go if you ask your mom and she say no, you don't go ask your father, because then both of them wind up kicking your ass. Like it's just bad form. So if the parent, because the parents are on the same page, even if they disagreed about, like, it's the way I raised my kids. If I disagree or my parents disagreed about something, they took that offline. They had a discussion amongst the two of them, and
right.
I wasn't a part of it. Even if I somehow found out, I wasn't a part of the discussion. You know what I mean? I couldn't get well, here's what I think. Like there was no place for that. But that created a problem. If there's also a situation where, there could be jealousy involved, not even rolling that out, Mary having one child and Christine having 6, and you feel slighted because you wanted more, and then this person who has more isn't really doing what you think they should be doing, that could create a problem.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. And I'm thinking, you were supposed to be sister wives and have a family. You're supposed to be on the same page, because if I'm married and I'm working and you're watching my daughter and I have certain, way of raising her, and you're all loosey goosey with your kids, I'm not going to be comfortable leaving my child with you, whether you're the next mother or not.
Right. Well, that and the fact that, not even to be funny, but what I don't want to do is leave them with you and you, because it's the fun stuff. Because I remember when I was a kid, story time. I remember when I was a kid, I had a couple friends who didn't have like real curfews. Like their parents weren't strict.
Yep.
My parents were strict. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had to let them know where I was going, who I was going to be there, what time I'm coming back, the whole nine. These guys, they could just, get up, walk out the house. They could be gone for a couple of days, like their parents would look for them. And I remember when I was a kid, and this is the very subtle difference. When I was a kid, I was very jealous of that. Like, I don't understand why y'all coming down on me and always checking on me. I'm getting big. I'm strong. You know what I mean? I can do things, blah, blah, blah. But when I get older, I realize what my parents were doing. When you're a child, you see things as a child because you understood as a child. But when you get older, you put childish things aside. And I think that that's one of those things, like having guys or young ladies over at the house and you hooking up with them, and the next morning y'all wake up and Christine's in the
Mm-mm.
kitchen making eggs and you coming down with hickeys all over your neck, like
That was
you know what I mean?
I would not live to tell the tale. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, you
I'd be in
probably
one moon, my teeth would be in the other, my head would be in the other.
right.
But the
But like
kids,
you, but to your point, if you're
yeah,
watching, if that's going on at your house, and then I know you're watching my child, I don't want my child to be, you know, think that that's possible, that that's appropriate. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Because I don't want the, because you mess around, be like, it'd be my kid to turn up pregnant.
You took the words out of my mouth, and God only knows if that kid did. So in a way, oh God, I'm saying these words. Oh no, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to swallow that thought. But anyway, it would be what would make the show interesting if the kids would talk about it, even the grown kids, and they don't want to. So this is Dennis thinking, how many times you're going to give us the storyline? How many times you're going to move? How many times he's trying to say he's getting sex, he wants sex, or he's not getting sex? But I will tell you, I was a happy camper when his brother told him, "Oh, your kids."
Right.
Christine's kids, no, your kids. I'm like, I wanted to kiss that boy.
Yeah.
That's right, your kids. But yeah, that's
You
pretty
probably
much
had
like
somebody who was saying what everybody's been saying the whole time.
exactly. And I don't know if TLC is trying to do a redemption arc with us, because if you've noticed, everything we suspected is they're what's the word? They are confessing it to our face. But even though Cody's unapologetic, because just a quick side note, he is just emotionally stunted. I think I left you a speak pipe. He's competing with his dead dad. And
Right.
that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm going to let you go because I know we got time. But the last thing I'm going to say is the caller before me, better Christian than I am, because I more than want to see them fall. I want to see them go to hell. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
Okay, Linda.
Burn, baby, burn.
She's like, I'm gonna buy them a pair of gasoline draws and then
All
that'll
right,
be that.
then. In your words, thank you. I'm out.
Awesomeness. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I just think that I think there's a lot, because the one thing that I think gets missed, because and this is something that I will even say for myself, like they've been on TV for so long that they've allowed the show to strip away, and this is part of the phenomenon, especially with reality show. It's supposed to be about real life, and one of the challenges is that you're on the show for so long that your humanity starts to get stripped away. So they're in a position where you see them more as a commodity as opposed to people, and that's very uh dangerous in a lot of ways. But it's also when you take away their personification, their personhood, uh they just become cliche. And when I say that I want to see them add more content and have more realistic content, what that does, it's not just about entertainment at that point, but it also puts them into context as being people, as being human. Because if you just want to go out and talk about like the put together bullshit, very shallow storylines that TLC presents, then what that does is it strips away your humanity and you become a meme. You become a walking, talking meme. You're no longer, the mother of six, the mother of six, the mother of one, the mother of 13, the mother of five, the father of 18. You just become basically a one-line description in a bio of the story. Like, what's going to happen on this episode? Ranche Cody gets mad at Christine because she was that, blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't mean anything. When you do these types of shows, you have to present yourself to make yourself human, to show your human side. If you want to be like Mary did a thing where she came out, and I'm not, not bashing Mary, but I'm just saying that she came out and she said something to the effect of the whole worthy up part where she was talking about, oh, if somebody want to talk to me, they gotta make it worth it because I know they ain't worth my time, and not everybody is deserving to be in my presence, and this, that, and other. I get what she was saying, but if you don't layer that with some sense of humanity, some kind of context, you just come off wrong. You come off wrong. When Christine, like, you don't see what's going on with Christine, and you just hear blurbs about like her description of her relationship with David. Initially, I'm with David. He makes me happy. I don't give a damn what anybody say, including my kids. Then this last episode, all her kids are moving to North Carolina. I feel bad because all my kids are leaving. Why are they leaving me? I feel like a bad mom. If I strip away everything that you've been about, everything that you're doing, and your relationships that you have with your kids, then the response would be, of course your kids are moving to North Carolina because they're moving to a parent that at least wants them and considers them, because the only consideration you have is the man you chasing. See, that's the difference. And that's why I think it's so important that they start to give more vulnerable content about what's going on with their lives, not the made up protected image that they're trying to curate for the rest of us. Because otherwise, like I said, if that's what you do, if you're strong and you know what you're doing, when you make mistakes, then you have to live with those mistakes. But if you didn't know, or you were fooled or tricked, then allowances are made. But we had another super chat come in from Betty Aldridge with a $10 super chat. Mary has read too many self-help books and still condescending rather than accepting her part in allowing Cody to treat her like an ATM. Yeah, you know what? And that's one of the things. Because what's the I've never been through the program, but any 12-step program or any self-help program, it usually takes you acknowledging what your problems are and asking for some type of forgiveness. And no matter how you segment that out, part of you taking responsibility is that you have to acknowledge what you did, what you were a part of, and what happened. And with a lot of the description that Mary does publicly, we don't see that acknowledgement. We just see her, like, she'll take responsibility. I was there. I chose to be there because I chose. But that's not really talking about like the depth and breadth. That, to me, it comes off. And again, this is why like that vulnerable content really comes into play. It comes off like you do something, you step on somebody's toes, my bad, my fault, sorry. Right? It's just something you throw out to, not I apologize. I see the hurt it caused. I see the damage it caused. I'm going to try not to do it again. It's just something I'm going to say so that I can just keep it pushing. And I can say what I want to say. You know what I mean? I keep it. I don't have to stop and talk to you and acknowledge anything. I just throw that out there. Sorry, my bad, my fault, whatever. And I just keep moving. And that's what this, like, her whole like acknowledgement and stuff kind of feels like. Because even when she acknowledges her part in the family and what was going on with the family, there's always like the, this wasn't good for me and Cody wasn't a good man, but he's a good guy. Deep down, he's a good person. What about polygamy? Oh, it's not for me now. But polygamy is so valuable because it's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's without the context, you just look hypocritical, in my opinion. But thank you so much, Betty. Let me give you a little something. Then we have inhalation aerosols. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm sorry it's been so long. I'm working 2 jobs now, and that's just been very stressful. So
Hey, I get it. The money is tight.
I swear it's rough out there right now. Everything's
Yeah.
going up. It's a lot. But I noticed like a common theme in the conversations has been, why does it seem like the viewers of Sister Wives are going down, why people aren't as invested? My honest opinion of it is we have confirmation from like all sides that Cody and Robin are just complete narcissists and are manipulating the situation, stealing from them. And I think people have reached a point where they're watching the show and they know it's all crap. I really do feel like if TLC decided to do a documentary series where you interview whomever from the family who wants to be interviewed, talked about the truth, they would actually be way more successful than the current season. And I really never want to see Cody, or was it Robin, either of them licking any sort of utensils or
Yeah.
doing that creepy flirting stuff again. But I really feel like TLC should go that route. Let's do like a documentary series if people want to be involved and explore the issues that are bigger than just within the show. The problems with polygamy, how it affects the children, how it affects the women, the manipulation behind it, the control. Talk about those things. Other people can, see those patterns, and you don't have to be in polygamy to be in an abusive relationship either. So I think
True.
that would help, women or men or anybody who's been in an abusive situation be like, hey, I can get out of this. This sounds eerily familiar to what I'm going through. Should I get help? Um, I don't know if anyone agrees with that, but I feel like that's just kind of like where I've seen a lot of people kind of fall off with the show.
Right. Well, I will say this. I think that first I'll say hi to the TLC interns.
Oh,
But I'll say this. I think that what you're suggesting would actually make for an excellent show. Like even if it was just a special or something to that effect, because TLC, what the hell? Oh, okay. TLC, I think, is looking for content to to replace, not necessarily replace Sister Wives, but because this content could actually be used to complement Sister Wives, where you have somebody come out, and even if you did like a discussion aid like they had at UNLV, where you had two sides who were giving their perspectives, pro-polygamous people versus people who are in it and disagree with it and why they disagree with it, I think that would be interesting. I think it would also be interesting, like you said, to hear the stories of people who are in polygamy who say it worked and why it worked and why it was beneficial. And then at the same time, you give the contradictory opinion of this is I was involved with polygamy. This is why it didn't work. This is why I don't participate in it. And this is the pain that I saw. We can do a compare and contrast. When you say it worked, what type of family structure did you have? Did you guys live the Brown family lifestyle, where it's one big family, Brown family Dargers? Because I think the Browns are actually modeled almost after the Dargers in a way. Or did you do the Robbins family, the Sullivan approach, where you have each wife has their own separate house and the father just kind of goes to these different people, almost like a 1950s bigamist? You understand what I mean? So I think
mhm.
that would be interesting. But what we're watching now is just, I think the reason why it's fallen off is because, like you said, you have a problem with the people who we don't necessarily want to see winning. They're winning. You have there are a lot of unresolved questions, um, and the answers that they're providing us are things that we already know about. So there's no risk involved with this type of show.
Oh yeah. I actually kind of disagree that they're winning though. I feel like that they're such narcissists, and when a narcissist feels like that they're losing that face that they put out to the world, or like that imaginary, I can't think of the word right now, but they essentially are going to imagine themselves as this pillar of success, that, that there's somebody that people should envy, that they have the best of everything. And you're kind of seeing a lot of Cody and Robin and the kids looking miserable.
Right.
I mean, they did downsize the house. They want to say it's not a downsize, but you can tell from the one huge mansion to now the smaller mansion. And I mean, I'm not one to judge because I'm in a condo, but you can kind of tell they're downsizing a bit. And I feel like what we're watching is like the death throes of these two narcissists who have had it really good for a while
Mm,
scramble to try to pick up those pieces, because now that the truth is out, people are not supporting them. I mean, it
right.
came out that they were stealing from viewers, that they, or emotionally abusing those kids, manipulating the wives. Like, you know, nobody believes what they're putting out. I don't even believe Cody and Robin are really that into each other like they try to play it off to be.
Right.
I feel like that's more of a relationship of convenience at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, because I agree with that. I think that um They're point of agreement. I agree that I don't think they're that into each other, because people who are that into each other don't have to be prompted. It's just something like if you used to touching your wife or your husband, it's just something you do. It's not something that you announce. I'm about to touch them hind parts. Like, it's just something that happens. If
Yeah.
anything, you might get too comfortable and you might get yelled at because you did it in front of the kids or something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you get too free, but it's not a thing where you have to create that environment. That's where I call like bullshit. But
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I will say for clarification, when I say that they're winning, I don't mean that they themselves see themselves as winning.
Mm.
I think that what I'm referring to specifically is that they've been able to strip everything that they want from the family without any recourse, or without any punishment or negative attributes other than the family leaving. But as far as like the money is concerned, the money from Christine, or from Mary, Janelle, and Christine selling their homes, that money is long gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're not getting that back. They've invested in the Coyote Pass. That's just good money going after bad. And even though they get a little bump, both Mary and Janelle get a little bump because they're getting a portion of Coyote Pass, they're still getting cheated.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the part where I say that they're winning. I do agree from their perspective. I think that it's very difficult when you live a life of relational success, meaning that your success is dependent on somebody else's failure. Robin's success as a wife depended on the failure of the women's as wives. So she needed them around because she needs to say that I'm better than these people.
Mm-hmm.
And now she doesn't have that. She has to stand on her own. You have to be good just because you're good, and that's not good enough. Cody, he can't be the man that he was when they first met. They're making more money now. But again, no matter how much money they're making, and I'll frame it this way. No matter how much money they're making, it's not equal to the loss that they took, because they took a 60% loss of income when the other wives left the family. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I mean?
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's 5 people, 20% each, yet 60% of your finances walk out the door. So unless they got a raise from TLC of 60% to bring them even, they're, no matter how you calculate it, they're still behind. They're way behind where they were. So from that
Oh
respect,
yeah.
they're losing. And I think that that's the part where, it's, we know that, but like I said, it's just that they got away with so much already. It just feels wrong, you know.
Hey, karma always comes back around.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah. That's
But
why when they walk off set, like if Cody ever gets, because there was I don't know if you ever watched this show called Real Housewives of Anywhere, like Georgia or whatever, the
Mhm.
Bravo shows. There was a time my wife used to watch them, and there was a time I used to say, I think what they do when they pick the cast members, they actually get their books and their finances and they go through them, because inordinately they'd have so many bankruptcies and people losing everything in one show. You know what I mean? Like, I think the first couple seasons of that show, almost everybody on the show at one point or another had to declare bankruptcy and sell their houses on that show. There was like maybe one or two people from each of the little locations that didn't have to do it, but
Mhm.
everybody else was like getting destroyed. And I think that that's where, if it ever hits that point for the Browns, or more to the point, Cody and Robin, I think they'll stop filming before
Yeah.
they allow them to film them, getting a last notice, a final notice.
Yeah. No, but knowing Cody, he would do like a GoFundMe or something for them, and we'd hear
Yeah,
about it somehow.
yeah. I can see him doing a GoFundMe, but when it goes horribly wrong, you definitely not getting that on tape.
Yeah.
Definitely not getting that on tape.
No, absolutely. I mean, as said and done, though, let's hope that all the kids, no matter what their ages are, they can find healing, they can move forward, they can do better for themselves and their kids. I mean, those kids have been through so much, and in the public eye for God. The show's been on since like what, 2008, 2009, or
Mhm.
maybe around that time. I mean, that's truly his whole life. Honestly, I can't
Right.
even imagine what that's like. So, you know, Cody and Robin suck. TLC can do a lot of different things, but you know, let's just hope for the best for the kids and that, you know, they can get support and healing through all of that, you know.
Right. Right. I agree. I agree. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Inhalation Aerosols. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Awesome. Haven't heard from Inhalation in a little while. Like she said, it's hard out there for everybody. I mean, I went to the supermarket the other day, Jack. I was like, should I take out a loan or is there a line for the arms and the legs? Because this thing, woo, what are we doing? Yeah, my insurance is gonna go up. Oh my god. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. I'm getting dizzy. But next up we got a TB. TB in the house. What's going on?
Hey, James.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing excellent.
Well, I don't know if what I want to say that I can say because it's behind a paywall. Um, I saw something this afternoon about McCulty, and it was on her Patreon. So I don't know if I can even say it. Can I?
Oh, go ahead. I mean,
Well,
she accepts that people do that. It's fine.
Well, the first caller, which I love, the one from the Bronx, I don't know, remember what her name is. I love to hear her from her. She talked about it, kind of, but they were talking about the cluttering.
Okay.
So basically, I don't watch the show anymore. I haven't watched since the first episode. I feel like it's overproduced. I feel like it's all contrived. But McKelty said on her Patreon, basically, and I'm so sorry. I feel really guilty about saying this. You're okay. It's okay. Did I say this?
No. It's let me just so everybody is alleviated from any guilty feelings of remorse for sharing McKelty's stuff. McKelty actually came out and said that she fully accepts the fact that people talk about her Patreon on different shows. And in fact, they do she doesn't mind people doing content and using clips from her Patreon. So
Okay. All right.
yeah, that's from her mouth.
Well, this really affected me because it was just, and it just kind of spurred something in my brain. So basically, she said, all of the daughters, pre Robin, whenever they became a certain age, probably 13 or whatever, because she was talking about a bar mitzvah, got a clotter ring. She never got a clotter ring. So she was talking about how she would like talk to her dad about getting a clotter ring. He was like, no, not until you do all this, all this stuff. You're bad, blah, 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 blah. And she was very rebellious. And so she said that she found a clotter ring on Craigslist for like $50, and she bought it. And so she bought the clotter ring, and so I don't know how it happened, but Christine talked to Robin, of course, and Robin said, no, Cody got the clotter ring he bought it for McKelty. And Cody and McKelty during this Patreon said, no, that didn't happen. I bought it myself for like $50. And so, Robin's like, you didn't buy she was confused by that. She's like, she told me that's how it was. And so my thought was like, she didn't,
Wait.
Robin.
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just so I can understand, because I'm trying to get my mind around this for a second. I apologize.
Yeah.
McKelty bought a ring for herself.
Yes. On Craigslist for $50.
Right.
Around $50.
And
a
then
clotter ring that all the other daughters got, but McKelty did not get.
right. But then Robin came back to McKelty. I don't understand the circumstance, but she came back to McKelty and told McKelty that Cody bought her the ring.
No, Robin said, no, Christine said that Robin told her,
Oh,
Robin,
okay.
yes, that Cody bought the ring for McKelty. And McKelty said, no, I bought it myself.
Wow.
That was on Patreon, evidently. And I don't have McKelty's Patreon. That's why my fear is that I'm saying this because it's behind a paywall.
Right, right.
And I saw it with my own eyes. And so that's why my fear was that saying this. And that was today.
Right, right.
So anyway, so what kind of interference was Robin running for Cody? And I don't really feel like Cody has any kind of emotional intelligence. He just feels, and Robin, I don't even know what to think anymore, especially after that. I'm not trying to spread anything. I saw it with my own eyes. I don't know. But
right,
right.
I
Do you want me to give the content creator that I saw that on?
You can.
I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's in my YouTube feed. It was Beyond a Crystal Ball. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
But I saw it.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, at first I thought you were saying that. That's why I was like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. I thought you were saying that Robin was telling McKelty, no, your father bought you that ring. Like, whoa.
No,
that would be
McKelty
totally crazy
was telling her mom.
Yeah,
and then Christine was saying, no, Robin told me that Cody got you that ring. And she said, no, I bought it. And she wore it for years until she met Tony. And because, that was whenever McKelty was talking about all the other stuff that she was doing, she was a wild child. And good for her, for poking against all this patriarchal bullshit. She was her own person, and and her siblings, they didn't say this necessarily in this episode, but I've seen it other episodes. She didn't have a lot, but Robin was like, oh, blah 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 blah, and they were kind of making it sound like, again, I don't know, that like Robin was championing McKelty. So it's one of the reasons why McKelty was championing Robin. Right. And she's not anymore. So I don't know. But I really feel like Cody, God, he's such a simp, What kind of demon is Robin, So I don't know. I've never been in a cult. I have no idea. And I don't want to spread stuff, but I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it.
Right. Well, I mean, the whole thing is that the situation was what it was. I think the part where people are curious about is how they were able to navigate it and get themselves to a point where they stayed in the situation. I think that's interesting.
Well, this last episode with like Cody, he's talking about all that smelly stuff, and then Robin's like, I am not, I don't always fall for it, and blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like I feel like he is trying to, especially with his dad, with all the dad stuff. His dad was like such a manly man and macho and all this kind of stuff, and that's what he's doing. And there's all this stuff on social media about him doing like all these things that are making him more manly. I don't want to say it, but
Right.
I don't think he knows what he's in for. I think this woman is, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the one he loves, so God bless
He's
him for
made a
that.
huge mistake. He's
Right.
made a huge mistake. I
Well, I mean,
I
you know,
have a
you
lot
get
of
what
stuff.
you ultimately I think that when push comes down to shove, he's just going to get what he asked for. Like that's what you want. That's the person that you chose. That's
Yeah.
what you like. Then you just get what you get what you asked for.
Well, he's gonna
Yeah.
get it. I mean, I'm not one that I know. This is only my second time I ever called, and the first time I called, I had no idea what I was going to say. But this time, it's just again, don't watch it. I haven't watched the episode, but everything else that I've seen since that, it's just like God, you know.
Right. Right. Well, I tell you what, I appreciate you calling in, dropping another bit of wisdom on us. I didn't know about that, but yeah, I appreciate it.
It came out today, and again, I
Oh,
know a lot of people don't like that particular content creator,
mhm.
but I saw it with my own eyes, and check it out.
Okay.
So I'm just bringing it up, and I tomorrow I'll probably regret that I called in.
No. You did great. You did great. It was awesome. Very informative. But thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Yeah, I mean, check it out. I don't have anything against any of the content creators. Everybody gotta do their thing. Um, yeah, that is crazy though. But I think that when push comes down to shove, I think Robin will always defend Cody because, like, we'll say, like, you could say, oh, Robin is trying to defend Cody or put that on McKelty because she's trying to just create discord. I think ultimately you got to know which side of the bread your butter, which side of the bread has the butter. Like she knows that like protecting Cody isn't just protecting Cody for Cody's sake. Protecting Cody is actually protecting her because again, this is the point that I've always made about Robin. No matter how maniacal we all think she is, or planning and manipulative or whatever the case may be, it only works because of who she has favor with. If she didn't have Cody in her corner, on her side, then she would have been virtually powerless in the Brown family. And I'll say that again, if she didn't have Cody on her side, if Cody wasn't the object of all these women's desires and they were trying to get at her or get to her, then Robin wouldn't have any power. So when she comes back and she tries to defend Cody's honor or his position or what he's doing, I think a big part of that is she's also defending her position and where she is. So she's keeping herself strong by defending him. So I think that was part of it. But let me go to we had a super chat come in from Inhalation Aerosols $4.99 super chat for the supermarket. We'll try to make sure I don't miss the next one. Yeah, and I'm telling you, them supermarket bills is crazy. Like the pump come down a little bit, and all of a sudden the supermarket. So now don't try to order any damn meat, boy. Like if you like beef, steak, hamburger, oh my gosh. I used to get this hamburger thing. It's like $14-15 on average. I think it's like $25 now. What are we doing? It don't even taste better. What the shit? But yeah, thank you so much, Inhalation Aerosols. I appreciate you. Next up, we have Ready to Retire. Now I'm looking for Caramel Cuties. I saw she called in, and Betty, you guys want to call in. And Brittany was here for a little bit. But what's going on, ready? Are you
Hey
ready? Ready?
James, I'm so close to ready. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Look, these TLC has totally forgotten basic storytelling.
Right.
We
Amen.
need somebody to root for. We we need somebody to root for. We want someone to hate. We got that covered with Cody. Now we want somebody to root for. But there needs to be an end. Like, for example, we all rooted for Christine and her happiness and when she found David and all of that stuff. We rooting for that. And then we were rooting for Janelle
Hmm.
and the Tata Farms. And we rooted for Mary to find something. But they need to make that interesting. Nothing is interesting. They're not giving us anything to root for. All they're giving us is the same old we were rooting for you to get away from Cody because he was bad and this is how he and Robin were bad. But they're not doing their part in terms of storytelling of enough information about the growth to counteract that. I
Right.
mean, think of Game of Thrones. We all hated Cersei. We knew why we hated her. She had clear enemies. The enemies had a goal. The enemies achieved their goal. But they're not giving us that. They're not giving us basic storytelling. And
Mm.
that's all I have to say.
No, you know what, ready? I'm gonna tell you, I've been feels like I've been climbing that mountain for a little while now, but definitely this season. You know,
Hmm.
It's that's one of the things I was talking about. Like you have to, like it's just basic, like you said, it's basic storytelling. You have to have an antagonist, a protagonist. You have to have some source of
Hmm.
conflict. And the better the story is developed, and more to the point, the better the characters are developed, you will find points of
Hmm.
conflict between those characters naturally because of just differences of opinion, or difference of positions or difference of viewpoints, difference of backgrounds and upbringings, and where you are now versus where they are now. There are always points of contact conflict that you can focus on, and that in and of itself is what good storytelling is. As I've said before, whether it's literature or the visual arts, TV, movies, plays, or whatever, you catch these characters on their worst days or on the day where their life could change drastically. Like in the bigger the stakes, the bigger that change, the bigger the conflict, the more they have invested, the better the story is. But where we are now, there really are no stakes in what we're watching. Like
Hmm.
if
Like,
you know if
like Mary has no story.
right,
she's
right.
got she has an issue, which is let's say one of the things she wants to do is date. Okay,
Mhm.
well, aside from speed dating, what is she doing to accomplish that goal? What is she
Right,
doing that we can root for, even if it's just something as small as getting her hair done and getting her nails done? Boom, she's doing something to make herself more attractive.
right.
She's
Well,
putting herself out there. She's moving toward whatever this goal is she has for herself. Not sitting on the couch talking to, now bless her heart, and Jen has made it interesting, but sitting on the couch, bitching about Cody, laughing at what is it, Birches,
oh yeah,
whatever his name, whatever the name. That's not that's not keeping us interested. That's not moving her through the story of Mary.
right, right. Well, because even then, if like in order for the dating arc to be interesting, the stakes would have to be, the stakes again usually play better if it's dire. And for most of the fan base, you just target age range, right?
Hmm.
They are not people like we're not in our 18 teens or early
Hmm.
20s where
Hmm.
our whole universe hinges on the ups or life swings of dating somebody, and if you
Mhm.
have a boyfriend and if you have a girlfriend, and do they love me, and if they
Yes.
don't, my life is over. Like, many of us are
Yes.
past that point.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you finding a man is not high stakes for anybody. Like, nobody's thinking like, oh, she has to find somebody. You probably, you got to get over the
Or
last
even
relationship
or
you were in.
even watching her kiss a lot of frogs would be more interesting than sitting on the couch talking about Cody with Jen.
Right, right. Well, because even in that, like, part of the buildup, like you were saying earlier, part of the buildup is, what are you doing? Like, I hear you complaining a
Mhm.
lot about, the apps, and you want to meet somebody more organically, and like how we used to do it back in the day. You know what we used to do back in the day when you were in your teen years, and this, you young folks probably ain't going to understand what I'm about to say, but they had these places called malls. When we were in high school, they had these places called malls. There was basically a big group of stores they were put into one big building, and that's where the kids used to go hang out. If you were curious about getting into the dating realm, you would have to put yourself, and when you get older, they have these places called bars and clubs. But in any event, if you want to date somebody, you have to put yourself in a position where you can meet people. And if you're saying that you don't like the apps, my question would be, well, what, and this is something you want to do, well, where are you going? You don't have to go to the bar and the club to try to meet people, but are you going to clubs? Are you going to bowling nights? Are you going to places where there might be dudes that you want to talk to? You have these requirements on what these guys should look like and what they should be like. Are you showing up at the places where these people reside? Or are you just hoping that one of
Well,
these guys just come by your door and knock on the door? You know?
well, I'm not necessarily. I was just using the story of Mary
Right.
dating. But give us something to look at. Give us
Mm,
something to root for. And
right.
that's, give us something to root for.
Well, because I'm just saying, like, if she was so, if they wanted to make that storyline work, you have to blow it out. Like, again, this is one of those situations I talked about, like, being a child of born in the 70s, coming up in the 80s and 90s. We had a lot of terrible shows, right? And then we had this type of shows that you had to suspend your brain basically to watch and enjoy the show, and we understood what they were, right?
Mhm.
But growing up in that time frame, it's very hard for you to come get away with that now because people are a lot more knowledgeable and they have more expectations with stuff. But if you want to develop that storyline, it's not enough for you just to say, I want a boyfriend, I want to be married. You have to express why it's important to you, and why. So therefore, why is it important to you, which could make it important to me because I like you, and I want for you what you want for yourself because I'm invested in you as a character. That, I want to know why it's important to you. Why does it mean so
Mhm.
much? And then I want to see, what are you doing? Are you just sitting around talking about it? Or are you putting yourself out there and you're succeeding and or failing at trying to do it? That's the only way that, to me, if that's the
Mhm.
storyline they want to run with, that's the only way it really works. It doesn't work
Mhm.
just, I'm a divorcee and I want to have a boyfriend. Like, oh, okay. Who doesn't want to
Mhm.
find love?
Mhm.
Everybody wants to find love. But why is it important
Mhm.
to you? You know what I mean?
All right. Well, thank you for letting me speak my piece because I've been sitting here gesturing at the TV set. I've got you on the big TV. And
Okay.
I've been just gesturing at the TV set like these people aren't telling me a story. But and that's part of the reason why the Housewives franchises are so successful. You ever notice that every season ends with an event?
Hmm.
They go off on safari, or they go on a vacation they go on some big trip. They get together and they plan that storyline. I cannot believe TLC's production team is not planning out storylines for this show.
Right. Right. Well, you know what?
And this is what they came up with.
There is a part of one of the struggles that they have even in Hollywood is that there are groups of people who represent experiences that go widely unrepresented. And I think that part of the struggle that they have is because early on, especially early on, and this is kind of the dark side of production. There aren't a lot of opportunities for young women in writing storylines, scripts, so on and so forth, early on. So, as what you normally would have is you would have an artist or a artist writer come into a writing room early, and they would hone and craft and develop their skills as they get older, and they would be able to tell stories from their perspective. But because you have a group of people who have been widely ignored, they don't necessarily make it into the writing room, so you don't have their perspective. Instead, what you have is people who are from the outside of that understanding trying to understand and explain somebody else's experiences that they don't really
Mhm.
understand or know about.
Mm.
So it's very likely you have a group of 50 some odd year old men, 50, 60-year-old men trying to tell the story of, what it's like to be a 50 something year old woman who's divorced and trying to make her way post divorce, post relationship into the dating world. You only have your experience as a man, what it's like. My experience as a dude going into the dating world will be completely different. And me and my wife broke up today and we went into the dating world. My experience would be completely different than her experience. And I couldn't tell her story no more than she could tell my story. And I think that that's one of the problems. If they're putting these storylines together, I think that's one of the big problems that they're encountering because they don't know what
Mhm.
sounds real because they don't know what is real.
And I bet that's why Christine didn't have 99% of her dating with David filmed,
Mhm. That
because
makes sense.
they wouldn't have made it through filming. Who could?
Yeah.
Do you know
Nobody
what
can
I'm
survive
saying? Who could?
that. Nobody can survive that level of scrutiny. That's why I say, like, and I said that when she first got married, as much as I enjoyed covering Sister Wives and hanging out with everybody and discussing Sister Wives, like just for the best interest of Christine and against my own interest, I had
Mhm.
said that she probably should, if you're happy with your husband, there might come a time where you have to ask yourself, do I want to be a reality star or do I want to be married?
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
because those two things may be very different. So, because it's very hard when you're in a relationship. It's hard. It's funny because Cody and them actually acknowledged what I had said previously, but on this last episode. But it's hard when you're on a show, you have a disagreement with your loved one, and then you get past it, and then a few months later you see the disagreement
Mhm.
again, and then all that energy comes back, and then not only do you see the disagreement, you remember how you felt and why you were offended, but then you hear them on the couches either justifying what they did or telling the world that they don't give a shit that they did something wrong. You just had to get over it. So that just makes it worse. So that's why a lot of these relationships don't survive, the scrutiny.
Okay, well, I'll let you pick up the next person in the queue. I think, what is it? You got Carmel Cutie and everybody else in the wing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they dropped out, but I appreciate you calling in and giving your perspective.
Okay,
It was
thank you.
refreshing because I've been screaming
Thank
at
you
the
for
whole
what you're
time.
doing. And one day you ought to put up a poll, because I think more of us don't watch the show and just tune in for you that do watch the show.
Thank
I
you for that.
really,
I
really think
appreciate
a
that.
lot of us are just tuning in for you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that because yeah. I mean, it's getting to that point. Like, and I can see and I call the decrease in numbers. Like, I saw
Mhm.
where TLC was a little surprised that the numbers were going down. Bro, I've been saying that since last season. Like, you guys gotta get with it. You, your house is on fire. You guys talking about rearranging the furniture. And I'm trying to tell you, you're gonna have a parking lot. If you guys don't start changing, turn this ship around. So But it was definitely refreshing speaking to you. I appreciate you. Ready to retire.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Ready to retire. I heard that. Ready to give it all up. You know what I mean? Let the next generation take the baton and get run with it for a little while. My legs is tired. Yeah, let me hold on for a second. If you guys want to call in, we have some time left. That you guys give an opportunity for people to call in. Lizzie B had some gems. She said, first ask yourself if you are ready to be in a relationship, then analyze if you can make the sacrifice. And this is for, like, I think this is not just for people who are a more advanced stage trying to get back into the dating market. I think that this is like across the board. I think that's across the board good advice. Like, even as a young person, you know, when I was talking to my kids about dating and even, you know, getting serious as far as dating is concerned, you know, there are certain thresholds that you cross that once you cross that Rubicon, you are it's almost like you're announcing to the universe that you're ready for an advanced form of this type of relationship that you're in. You know, and you have to ask yourself, are you ready to be this person or this, you know, in this type of relationship? Are you willing to do what is necessary in order for you to be able to mentally and emotionally, physically, sexually, you know, survive, if not prosper in these types of situations? So you always have to ask yourself that question, especially if you're, and this goes also for if you're coming out of a bad relationship. You got to take a moment, you got to take a beat to assess where you were and what it is you want. And that's what I was saying about, like, because Ready to Retire really hit the nail on the head. Got my juices thinking, but juice is working. But like, even with trying to make the storyline of Mary's dating work, like with that, you have to, this is a visual art. It's not enough for you to come out and just drop a bunch of dialogue about how you're trying to find somebody, and therefore it's going to be important to us. When you do television, especially television movies, you have to show people what it is you want them to know, not just tell them, right? Telling them something, that telling them works and plays because you don't have the technology to show them necessarily. But the most effective scene, I remember there was a scene in an Alfred Hitchcock film where a couple gets onto an elevator, right? This is the scene. It's just black and white. Couple of great actors. You go back to like the Twilight Zone, all that, fantastic actors. But they get onto a man and a woman. They get onto an elevator. The guy pushes the button. They're going up, and it's like a little bit. Nobody's saying anything. They're not even looking at each other. Then the elevator stops. A woman gets on. She's very good looking, and a man notices her, and the other woman notices the man noticing her. They go up a couple floors. She gets off the elevator, and then they go into they hit a floor. They both get off the elevator. He leads the way, almost like they're just conveniently going the same way. He keys into an apartment, and it turns out she comes in right behind him. Turns out they're married, and that set the stage or the tempo of the type of relationship that they have as a married couple moving forward. Like, you can see where they are, right? And that's the investment that we have to see. We have to see it. They didn't have any dialogue, but they showed us. And in this case, when Mary is trying to do the dating thing, you have to show us. You just can't get up and tell us that, you know, even with her doing the announcement, oh, they got to prove that they worth my time because everybody don't deserve to be in my presence, you know, because I'm that precious. I'm that secret thing. I'm worthy of this type of adoration and people coming after me because that's what I deserve and that's what I expect, because I'm not going to deal with people who are wasting my time. Then in the very next segment, she's talking about how great Cody was and how he was a good man, and deep down he's still a good person. He's just lost and misunderstood and all this. What happened to the lady who was saying that you're not going to be with somebody wasting your time? This dude wasted years, decades off your life, and you're still giving them the benefit of the doubt. So it's that kind of contradictory point. Then Lizzie had another one to just touch on. Love is not just love. It's patience, time, and understanding, trust. It's also forgiveness. And if we're going to be honest, one of the things that I've found to be inherently true about actually loving somebody is that you don't just love the positive parts of that person. You love that person in total. And even if it's parts you don't like or things that you wish you could change, you acknowledge that those parts could help to construct the person that you see before you. You don't, if you recognize that they have faults, you see that potential. And I think that that's important. Oh, coming to the stage, we got a Wendy's front yard. What's going on, Wendy? How you doing?
Good evening, James. I've never done this, so please forgive me if I do it wrong.
No, you're doing it right so far. So
Okay.
say what you got.
Well, I was mentioning to Linda earlier, and I just wanted to get your take on this. We were wondering why McKelty would, like she didn't tell her mom about the twins first. She told Robin and Cody first about it. But like she had such a devotion to them, but if that had happened with the ring, we were wondering why she would be so devoted to them like that.
Mm,
And I started wondering, I just wanted to get your take on it. I have to wonder, does Christine resent her daughters and or is jealous of them? Because we see her completely fawn over Peyton, her only son. And
mm,
she saw Cody spend all that time with Janelle and all of her kids because she has all the boys. Well,
right.
all the boys except for,
Except for
the other.
Maddie. Yeah, no,
Right.
but he had the even in light of what you're just saying, just to clarify for everybody, Janelle, the reason, because I'd taken the same position, Janelle had the thoroughbreds
Right.
of the boys. Like she
Yeah.
had Logan, who was wrestling and doing football. She had Hunter, who was doing football and wrestling. He actually became the state champion in wrestling. So like those were like the kids that he was going over and he was proud of. Because like I said, a guy like Cody, I could see him sitting in the stands. Those are my sons. I made that. You know what I mean?
Right. They're just extensions of him
Right. That's part of my
for
greatness.
him to brag.
Look how great I am. I did that.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, but
but
no, please.
no, I was just wondering, like, do you think that's possible that she looks at the girls a certain way because of that? Almost like she's upset that she had all these little girls and is jealous that Janelle had all the boys like that. I just wondered what you might think about it.
Well, you know what, as crazy as it is, I never really thought about it in those terms. I can see where that could inspire some, maybe some latent jealousies,
Mhm,
and maybe wishing for something different.
mhm,
Uh, maybe part of the reason why she might love on Peyton the way she does is because Cody never came over to the house. And in terms of like a monogamous situation where this might occur, you would
mhm.
you would see this type of phenomenon where a parent doesn't show up. Like, so if a mom has for example, if a mom has custody of a child and a dad doesn't show up, she tries to backfill for the father who's absent.
Right,
So
yeah,
she overdoes because she wants to try to fill in that gap, partly because she doesn't want her child to be hurt. But the other part of that too is that there's a part of her unwarranted, but
mm,
she feels guilty because that parent isn't around.
right,
Like
yeah.
it's
Oh,
her fault,
absolutely, yeah.
you know. And so that becomes a problem. And then you had another. What was the first part? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that could she be jealous or resentful because of that? But before that, I was just saying that I was, talking in
Oh,
the chat about
oh,
why McKelty was
right,
so loyal.
McKelty. Right. Why McKelty would have told Robin first.
Right,
In that same dynamic where you have a custodial, non-custodial parent, the crazy part is the parent who is always there the parent who has had your back, the parent who does everything for you, that parent sometimes may feel that they're being slighted by their children
Hmm.
because that child will put in so much effort to try to get the attention and affection from a parent who is absent,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
you know. And so they'll go after that, like, oh, the mom is there doing the day to day. And unfortunately, because she does so much, you take for granted all the
Right.
things
Kids
that
don't
she
notice
does.
that.
Yeah, yeah, mom got it,
Exactly. Exactly.
she know what she's supposed to do. But dad, who doesn't come around or doesn't, call or doesn't check on you, then it's
Right.
when I go over to his house, I'm trying to prove my worthiness. I'm trying to make him
Hmm.
excited about being a part of my life. I'm trying to give him that extra that I'm not giving mom because I feel like it's a higher cost for me to pay for that attention, for him to pay attention to me. So I think that there might be some of that in there too, because I think part of the driver for her to be as close to Robin isn't because she just loved the hell out of Robin. I think part of the driver for her to be close to Robin is because her father adored Robin. And she sat there and spent her whole life watching Cody being obsessed with these young men and going over to Janelle's house and giving her that attention. That when she looks at it and says, well, dad loves going over to Robin's house, maybe I can put myself, kind of what I was saying about Mary and dating, put yourself in a place where you're available to that other person,
That's very true.
you know?
Because I mean, these kids, I think all the kids, every last one of them know how conditional his love is.
Right.
I think even Robin's kids realize that, and I think that's probably why they try to, you know, go out of their way to be so kind to him, kind of.
Right, right.
Like they know at any moment the other shoe could drop. So,
Well, you just watched
you
him
know,
get rid of like 13 of his natural kids. It's like, I'll
I
give up.
know.
You're on a hot tin roof, playing around with him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm making light of it, but it's actually really sad. It's really sad that because that affects your because that kind of unknowing and insecurity can create insecurities in your personality. And that can affect your dating life and how you conduct relationships in the future.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
it's a
And I
shame.
think all little girls want to be a daddy's girl,
Mhm.
So, I mean, and he doesn't realize that. I don't think he has ever realized how important a father's role is in their daughter's life.
Right.
It's like, oh, they're girls. Who cares? So what? They've got their moms.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are ruining their future.
Right. Right. And
Like,
I think
this
part of
is
that too is
crazy.
he just can't see past, like there's old saying, you can't see past your nose. Like I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
he can see past his feelings and how he felt with his dad and how he
Exactly.
felt less than. So he's going to try to bond with his son. So you're so focused on bonding with your sons that you never considered the importance and the important role that you have to your daughters. Because one of the craziest things I heard when I was a young person, I don't want to offend anybody, but for young men, the first love they have is their mother, and for young women, the first love they have is their father. Whatever,
That's very true. When I was extremely, extremely little, understand, I wasn't like, I mean, just little, I would always say, I'm going to marry daddy when I grow up. I
Mhm.
just thought because I loved him so much. I mean, little tiny kid,
Right.
I wanted to be like my mama. And
Mhm.
they would laugh and say, well, where's mama going to go? And I'm like, I don't know. That's not my
Ain't gonna
problem.
be here because I don't share.
Exactly. I don't want a sister wife. Thank you.
Right, right. Even then, even then, Wendy understood.
But
But
he,
I think that's the thing because there's also just to clarify. Let's be realistic before we
oh,
start cracking jokes
yeah,
about it
of
in the chat.
course.
The truth of the matter is, you don't have the sexual component as a child,
Absolutely not. It
so
was nothing
it's
ever. Trust and believe everyone. It had nothing to do with that.
right. It's just a bonding experience. And then be honest with you, there's nothing wrong, especially if you grow up with the type of parent that I hope you had, like that I hope everyone has, that loves you beyond themselves.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so they love you unconditionally, and that type of love, that type of pure love, they don't want anything from you, they just want the best for you. And that person, like, once is excited about spending time with you, that's what you should look for in a partner,
Exactly.
ultimately.
And that's all it was.
Right.
Understand? Like I said, it had absolutely nothing to do with anything like that. I
Right.
think it was the pure innocence of, oh my gosh, I'll never find a man as good as daddy.
Right.
That kind of mentality.
Hmm.
But that
And
was a
then,
long time ago.
right, and then, you know what? And I'll say this: there's nothing wrong, because that's one of the things that I had thought about when I have my daughter, is that you want to live your life in a way that you become the standard bearer for the type of man that you want her to be with. Like, I want
Exactly.
her to find somebody, and not necessarily find somebody like me or whatever, but I want somebody who's going to care for her the way I care for her. You know what I mean? And that
I
way, I'll
I hope
when
your
I'm not
daughter
here
does find a
anymore.
man like you.
Hmm?
You are a good man, James, and
Oh,
we are
thank you,
so grateful for you. I want you to know that.
thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, because
But
I just, because it's one of those things, like, as a parent, your primary objective is not to take them on trips or buy them nice, cool
no.
Christmas gifts, but it's actually to try to prepare them for when you're not here anymore. You know
So
what I
you're
mean?
saying not the motorbikes at Christmas? You're
Right,
saying that's not quite where you should go?
right, right. Yeah, all the stuff that, because you can have mountains and mountains of toys. And what I found is that if you give somebody a whole bunch of stuff, especially during the holidays, first of all, it's a tremendous waste of money and resources.
Amen to
But
that.
when push comes down to shove, 9 times out of 10, the kids don't even remember half the stuff. I remember, like, I knew some kids, we go out buy them stuff, and it, like, you get the stuff, and not my kids. My kids are a little different. They're weirdos. They're like, it's not about the gifts. They don't care about gifts or presents. But
That's because y'all raised them right.
well, yeah, fingers crossed, right? But you would buy them a bunch of stuff, and they would look at the stuff, and you be excited about it, giving it to them. And I've seen parents excited giving them all these presents, and the kids lackluster at best.
Yeah.
Eh.
Well, like when they're little, and you give them something, and they're more interested in the box that it came in than the gift that you wanted to give them. I don't
Mhm.
think that ever goes away.
Right, right,
You said they're not overly impressed, I don't think.
right, right. Yeah, because stuff that I think is cool, they might not think is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But two, I also think that there's, like, one of the things that I've been saying for the longest time is that, just my perspective, when it comes to kids, it's not about the present, especially as we enter into the merchandise and mayhem of Christmas. It's more
Mhm.
about the presence. It's about your presence,
Yep.
because what your kids,
Absolutely.
when they think about you, what they remember about you and the things that makes them feel that special moment about you isn't necessarily what you gave them, is how you made them feel.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And when you miss your parent, or you miss the people that you were close to, what you miss is how they made you feel when you are around them. You miss that presence, that sense of support, you know. And I think
That's
that that's one of the things that, if you're going to give, if I had a Santa's workshop for a weekend, that's the present that I would make. That's the present that I would make for everybody. Not,
absolutely. That's
you
one of
know,
my favorite Miss Maya quotes ever about how people will often forget what you say, what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And it's
mm,
so true.
right, right. That's what it is. That's some total experience. So, just something to think about. But thank you so much, Woody. See, you were nervous, but you did awesome. You did awesome.
Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate your time, and I won't keep you.
No worries. Make sure you
And
call back.
I love your lives so much.
Awesome. That's why we do them.
Thank you, James.
No
And
worries,
I'm
Miss
sorry
Woody.
you had cut out at the end there, so I didn't catch the last thing you said. So I do apologize if I missed something, that if I didn't reply to something. I don't
No,
know
no
what's going on
worries.
with my phone. I'm sorry.
No, no worries. No worries. You did fantastic.
Well,
But
thank you.
thank you so much for your time.
You have
Have
a
a great
good
night.
evening. You too. Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye. Awesome. Awesome. See, when he almost got me on. But yeah, I mean it's just important. But we'll have a caller coming in, Miss Megatron. What's going on, Megatron? How you doing?
Hey James, hey everybody.
How you
I know
doing?
you probably said, "What the hell she doing?" I've been in and out this live all night.
Hey, no worries, no worries. I know people got
No,
stuff
I'm
going on.
chaperoning. I'm at my son's school field trip. We at some campground and I'm chaperoning.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm sneaking. Look, I'm sneaking on the live, y'all. Don't tell nobody. But first of all, James, I just want to give you a credit because you know what I realized today.
What's that?
You the only content creator that covers like the TLC shows whose voice I actually like, and I can actually get through a whole video.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
didn't realize how annoying some of these other people sounded until I got it in my car and it played on my car.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was like, I can't listen to this whole guy from Davisburg to Annapolis. I can't do it.
Says too much.
But anyway, how do you know what? I don't know, but I was annoyed beyond. I was like, yeah, I can't do it. But anyway, James, you have a very nice voice.
Oh,
I
thank you.
listened to to your call-in show from Sunday, even though I was there, but I listened to that on the way here because I couldn't do nobody else's voice today. My nerves was bad. I didn't want to be here.
Say a bunch of kids around,
It's a
trying to
whole
push
lot
you
of
to your
kids.
limit.
I was
You
like, and I'm
checking your bank balance.
still slightly hung over from birthday celebration.
Okay, that's right. Happy birthday. Okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
said, yeah, let
yeah.
me listen. Let me listen to James. But anyway, wanted to say that first. But so I kind of just I don't know if, like I said, I've been in and out. I don't know if anybody touched on it or not. But is it just me or Robin really don't like Cody like that for real?
Yeah, you know what? I have that feeling too. Like you could
He's
see
begging this woman for attention, and he's like, "Yeah, you like this, you like that," and I'm like, "Okay, first of all, I threw up in my mouth." But I don't know if I'm the only one picking up on like he's always begging for her affection, and she always got an excuse. Oh, we never did that before. Like she really don't like this dude.
Yeah. And even on that point, she like where she says, like, oh, come on, let's get close and da. And she said, I don't like to do it in public. She was the one who said when they went to San Diego, if you remember that trip, that's what the trip where Tina
Yep.
got sick. She was the one who was complaining. She complained for several seasons about them not being able to do PDA.
To not do PDA.
Right.
Okay, so I was like, maybe I'm
Yeah.
tripping because I ain't no OG fan, but I remember her complaining about it.
Mm,
Um, and she would make little jokes like, "Oh, I'll turn around so you can kiss him, Mary." You know,
right, right.
and but now it's like, bro, he's begging this woman to, and then he talking about some what he say. I know she's comfortable when she smacks me on my ass, and I'm just like, bro, immediately throw up in my mouth. Like, wait,
Right.
what?
Well, because even then, like, here's the weird part about it is that I think the dynamics of their relationship, when she had competition, she served the purpose of them having that physical relationship a lot
Yeah.
more because she knew, like, she was under pressure. If I don't give him what he
Mm-hmm.
want, when he wanted, how he wanted, then he might go next door. But now
Yep.
she's like, where you going?
He
And when he
don't want to be
comes
like
in,
she really be ducking dude.
yeah, and when he makes those kind of advancements, she's just always like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Like I
but
wouldn't
you
want
know
to
what
see
though?
that.
Also, James, you peep every time he do that. The next clip is I never wanted monogamy. I
Yeah.
always wanted pool.
Why does he keep coming home? I want him staying somewhere else. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
that,
was like, yo, Robin don't like Cody.
yeah, and here's another thing. It's not as much fun because when you are, and this is one of the things that like I don't know, you said you heard Sunday. I kind of talked a little bit about like my frustration with them always saying that monogamy was easy and polygamy was crazy difficult. And the truth of the matter is for me, a big advantage of polygamy would be if I have difficulty with one wife, or if I have an argument with my wife, I can go stay at Susan's house
Yeah.
until she, this situation calm down and cool down. Whereas with where she is right now, she doesn't have that outlet. One, two, there's the part where you get tired because you have that competition thing going on. You put up a facade and you can pretend to be a type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he leaves, you can be yourself and refresh yourself and get ready for your next performance. But now he's fully expecting you to keep the performance going 24/7, and you need a
And
damn
she
break.
tired.
You know?
She tired. That's why she mad at Christine.
Yeah. That's why every time he come home, she roll her eyes. Like if this one of TLC got that what is it, Wives with Knives, and that one show where it's like the women would kept poisoning their husbands. Like you see, like a
Oh,
woman be
snap.
married like 4-5 times, and all her husband and his family get sick, like they be eating a stew or something. Yeah. I'm like, Cody need to watch that shit.
Yo, Robin really don't like Cody though. She really don't. And the thing is, he knows she don't. That's why he
Yeah.
always begging. It's like he begging for affection.
Mm-hmm.
And he always trying to make these grand gestures to get her to stay on the hook. It's like he's turned into the sister wives of the group. Like now you see how Christine and Mary and Janelle felt, begging for, and your OG 13 kids begging for your attention. And it's like my grandma would say, she's louncing out. Like she'll give him a little bit and then she won't give
Yeah.
him none.
Give him a
And now
little
he got to
shoulder
go
and
make
take
this
it away.
grand gesture, and then she'll give him a little bit more.
Right.
So I
But
don't
what
know.
do
I
you
was like, that's what I was That's what I was getting out of this whole episode.
Well, do you think, because here's a question about future storylines that we're going to see. We kind of touched on it already because they've been touching on it. With Cody saying that he could go out and get another sister wife because these women are interested. Here's the thing. In light of what you just said, using that as a foundation, is it possible that Cody is mentioning these other women to kind of put Robin back on the footing where she's chasing him? Because like, all these other
Yep.
women willing to do what you ain't. Come on now.
Because that's what she did to him. Oh, I have
Right.
all these men, and then see, then he latched on her like a dog, and
Yeah.
now you stuck with her. So he basically, what is the reverse psychology? So
Yeah.
basically, he's flipping it on her like, you tired of me? You don't want me grabbing on you? You don't want me? Well, these women want me. These women, and see, Cody, you can't bullshit the bullshitter. She don't give a damn because
Right.
she knows she can take half of everything
Yeah,
and
you
go
are.
on up the road with them other men.
And that actually is a excellent point too, because when push comes down to shove, had he not finagled Mary into divorcing him and then turned right
Yeah.
around and married her, if they were still in that like the spiritual marriage state where she has no
Mm-hmm.
full access to his money, she very well might still be chasing his ass.
Yeah,
Because right now she has zero
absolutely.
incentive. Yeah, she's
She
zero.
ain't chased them now because she said Robin has said whether she stay with him or she don't. She said either way.
Right.
If she stay with him, he's gonna continue to make these grand gestures to keep her interested. If she leaves, she can take half and don't have to deal with his ass at all.
Right. Well, have then some because she has minor children.
Yeah, exactly.
She'll strip his pockets out. No, the
So
biggest
she really don't want to be bothered with him at all. That's why he's so monogamy and I never. So that's why every time if you notice when you see Cody and Robin in the scene together, the very next clip is I never wanted monogamy. I
right.
always wanted plural. And I'm like, she said Robin is setting the tone for when she haul ass and leave Cody.
Right. Well, because it's also weird too that he's because Cody, as much as he's talking about like he's a manly man and a masculine man, and my daddy was a masculine man, it is emasculating for you to constantly have to beg your way into a relationship that is already established, that you already have, and you're begging
Yep.
for affection. Like he's out there on County Pass ready to start crying. Will you do monogamy with me? It sounded like it wasn't like a confirmation of okay, this is how we're moving forward.
No.
date anybody else. It was like, will you please
Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me, baby. Please.
don't take my beautiful
And I
thing?
find it ironic because right after that, they found this big ass house. That was the grand gesture to keep her ass.
Right, right. The only thing that the only challenge she's going to really have is to make sure she gets out before they blow through all the money.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you can't get blood from a stone. It doesn't matter how
Right.
much you want to take. If you don't have it to give, you just stuck.
But you know what though? The crazy thing is though, when we were talking about, I know I was joking when I was like, "Oh, he got that money hid in the tree logs out there. That's why he got to go out there touching on them every day." Robin knows where the money is. She knows where that hidden money is. So it's like she's bullshitting him, he's bullshitting her, and it's like everybody just waiting for you to, you know what I mean, to press the little button to zap yourself,
Right.
almost. So like she playing her cards, he playing his cards, and it's crazy because Robin know where the money is. And the thing is, you remember he made the comment, "Oh, if Robin and I don't end up being together, we never trash talk each other." Because if Robin comes out and tells the world what you did, she's implicating her damn self. If you come out and tell the world what she did, you're going to implicate your damn self. So we're going to agree to be quiet and not say nothing so neither one of us can catch the smoke.
See, the problem
It ain't no we doing it because we love each other and we respect. No, it's because if I tell on her, I'm going to implicate myself. If she tells on me, she's going to implicate herself.
Right, right. Well, because the threat of mutual destruction is always, works on global scales as well. But the problem that you have with that is that I think it would work with Cody, but Robin has been she's been cultivated in the culture of victimhood. So there's nothing in me to make me think that she wouldn't not only bash, trash, and shit talk Cody, but she'll burn him to the ground.
But you know the thing is, James, she's so manipulative. She wouldn't do it herself.
Right.
She'd give all the bullets to somebody else.
Yeah. I didn't do nothing.
I don't understand. Me and my kids were on the outside and we refused to be.
Right.
See, that'll be her.
Because she already had she has a big help too. Because the stories had already started circulating from somewhere, I don't know where or from who or how other people would know, but the stories have already been circulating that Cody doesn't allow her to talk to men. Or, he's very controlling about her time. So even if she was going along with that and she was okay with it, that does give her a passageway or opens the door for her to be able to come out and say, look, the stuff that he was doing wrong was all him. I'm innocent of those wrongdoing things because he was controlling me in that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that would be a pathway that she might be able to take to avoid the mutual destruction.
And you know she is.
Some stuff.
You know that hell forgot her 5 exit plans already in play.
Yeah. She ain't playing around. I mean, if it wasn't for the evil nature of this shit, you gotta respect the fact that
it's a hustle. Say it what it is. Say it with your chest, Jay. You gotta respect the hustle, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not mad at her for finagling the OG3. I'm not mad at her for that.
Right. Yeah,
but my thing is, it's like, Robin, quit trying to make us believe you something. We see you for what you are.
Right.
It's like, my thing is, I would respect you so much more if you just say, okay, yeah, whatever. I did it. I meant to do it. It is what it is. Ain't my fault they were too dumb to look out for themselves.
Right.
I respect that. But it's the pretending like I don't understand. We don't. No. The jig is up, Robin. We fell for season 1 through 4. Okay, jig's up now.
Yeah.
Just own it. At this point, just own it. Just own it.
I think that it's kind of that the acknowledgement of it, the quiet acknowledgement, not even a quiet acknowledgement, but just a simple acknowledgement of it goes further than the cover.
Yeah.
Like for you to try to, you said, you try to pretend you had nothing to do with it. If she came out and said, look, I knew what was happening, but I made sure me and my family was taken care of. Me and my kids was safe.
That's it.
I'm
not mad at you because I would do the same.
Right. But it would make sense. Because if we're going to look, it's almost like if you go to a sport, right? And you say, "Oh, we just all playing for fun." No, you're not. Because if you was playing for fun, they wouldn't keep score.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a competitive nature,
Exactly.
and in my opinion, and especially in the way the Brown family expresses their family culture, it was competitive by nature. So
Yep.
Robin just took the competition to the next level. She was trying to win, and she didn't
Right.
like unabashedly so. And that's what she did, you know. And that begs the question: if we all understand it's a competition, and we all understand we're trying to get shit for ourselves,
Yeah.
are we mad that she did that and it violated some rule we didn't have? Or are we
Right.
mad that we were all trying to do it and she won? You know?
Yep. I think a lot. Well, personally, for me, it's like I don't really like Robin simply because the kids. It was so many of the kids involved. It's
Mm,
like you're not only screwed over those women, you screwed over 13 children. So much so that one of them took his lives. You see what I'm saying? Took
mm,
his life.
right,
To me, it's like, okay, Robin don't know when to quit, so to speak. It's like if this is your end game, let this be your end game. But in the process, when you see it going too far to the point where these kids are doing what they're doing, or you know what I mean? Okay, it's time to say, you know what, I don't want to play this game no more because this baby, I'm gonna call him a baby because he's a baby to me. This baby done killed himself because he could. So now I'm really messing with legit lives at this point. It's
right,
beyond, oh, I'm just making them uncomfortable or I'm just making them jealous or mad. You got people you really are, the stuff that you're doing is making people kill themselves.
right. Well, I would even say
So
like as far as like for the kids who are suffering with depression or the kids who had substance issues,
yeah, trying to
like
cope.
yeah, that's where you know how
Yeah, I
much
think for
this
me personally though, James, that's why I really can't stand her or Cody.
mhm.
And I'm barely tolerating any of the OG. Like all the adults are on my shit list at this point
Okay.
because I'm looking at the Mary, Janelle, Christine. Like, well, y'all allow this shit to happen.
Mm,
You watched it. All of y'all identified. Well, I take that back. Christine identified it in season 1. Janelle started picking up on it later on, and then Mary finally accepted it right here. I don't even think she still fully accepted the fact that she got gypped, but the
right,
fact that y'all was recognizing this shit in season 1 and it went on for 20 seasons,
right.
and it's like, okay, all right.
Well, and that's
This is
part of the
this is
problem I think that
crazy.
they move and with them moving forward is that they have to you have to reestablish the boundaries, the structures of where each character lies, what their spines are, and not even like I don't even want to go back. They have to go forward. But they have to move forward as the people they are now, not as the people that they were,
Right.
20 seasons ago. And I think that that's part of the problem. They're all trying to pretend that they're the same people. You're not.
You're not right. And also, we know y'all are lying from day one.
Right.
I think as far as fan base, a lot of the fans are getting like personal. It's like, bro, I don't just admit you lied.
It
Look,
is what it is at this point. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Don't keep acting like, oh, we didn't lie. We just withheld the truth. Bitch, you
right.
lied.
Well, I mean, that's one way to describe it. Like they didn't tell you the truth. They withheld the truth and they told you a different story.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
but
the narrative they're running with. You know what I
yeah, the
mean? It's
shorter
like, well,
part,
I
like
didn't directly
you lied.
lie. I just didn't tell you everything that was happening.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm dumb, right?
Well, because it's not even so much they weren't telling you everything that was happening. It's the fact that you said that while it was going on, the fans were saying, this, we are noticing that you're being neglected. You guys insisted to the point where you were insisting, almost violently insisting, that you were not being neglected. You were not being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Ready to cuss folks out. not having conversations,
They
walking out.
they weren't ready, James. They came no holds bars for. That's why they owe Christine Aunt an apology. I
Right.
would love to see that on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause y'all
Bring
came
it
hard
up.
for that. What Robin say? Don't make me a victim, sweetie. I said, not the shy pretty wife up here going, hey, look at her. I said,
What
my
did you
goodness, the
say
shy
that?
pretty wife.
That came off like that sounded like something she wrote in the parking lot because it didn't fit necessarily with the conversation.
So Robin read the thump. Robin was ready to thump at that press conference, whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Well, she was jumping up like she was ready to get in a squab. But the truth of the matter is, like, you don't want to, you also got to respect the fact that she knew who she was talking to. Because some
That
folks,
part, because she wouldn't have did that to me or you.
yeah. Excuse me.
Look, I'd have been Vera off Harlow Nights. Me and you got to step out back.
Right.
You
No,
done accused me of lying.
No, the conversation just go. No, I'm cool. No, I'm cool. Just relax.
You're not safe, James. You're not safe.
I'm gonna come sit next to you for a second because I want to hear real good my good ear what you just said. They get next.
Then you're gonna not be safe, out. James. You're not gonna be safe. Come on now, James. You're not gonna be safe.
Right. You're not a safe place. Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Because I said that. I said, I bet you Cody brother is no longer allowed at the McCinder Palace. No more. The Cinder Palace. Because when he told Cody, oh, you mean your kids?
Right.
I said, yeah, he no longer safe. I bet you he don't get an invite back to that. Who the hell he think he is gonna talk to me? Tell me. See, Cody reminds me of one of those guys, hold me back.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody holding him back. He just scared to fight. He just scared to fight. Yeah, hold me back, James. Hold me back. And it's like, no, you gonna fight today? Go ahead.
No, you got it.
But I'm pretty sure he went the hell off when that brother left.
Well, I know he didn't like the fact that the brother made him look bad, but the brother has him and the other brother have a podcast. And so I think they're trying to roll that out. Yeah, they've been rolling that podcast for about 2 years.
Okay. Now, who is the Ben? That's the nephew. Never mind. That's the nephew.
Yeah, Ben's the nephew. Not their kid. I don't know if his father was ever on.
Gotcha.
His father might have been on once. We might have saw his dad once, but yeah, it's no.
Yeah, this one I was like, okay, wow, this is crazy. But I just thought I was like, let me just see, am I the only one picking up on these vibes that Robin don't really like Cody like that?
I don't think so. I mean,
she don't act like it. Because when every other, literally, as soon as you see Cody and Robin, next scene, I never wanted monogamy. Girl, you was a monogamous for 10 plus years when you was dating the one guy. Now all of a sudden, I said, okay. She never wanted that for my family. This is not what I signed up for. That's what she be saying. This is not what I signed up for.
Right.
I'm like, so she's letting it be known, like, bro, this ain't what I want. And then you got him begging, will you choose monogamy with me? What is it? They sacred covenant? Whatever it was.
Well, the sacred covenant.
I was like, yo, he is begging.
Yeah, the sacred covenant was that he wouldn't, if he ever felt about her like he felt about the other 3 women, he would leave her.
He would leave her. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, Robin, you feel about him the way he felt about, because he's turned into Christine, Janelle, and Mary, and you've turned into Cody. So because of your sacred covenant, why don't you just tell him, bro, look, this ain't working out because this I don't want to just be with you. I want you 90% of the time, and I want the all the streams of income that came with you. But now that they gone, I'm gone too.
Yeah, I think that's all it is that as long as he got a show and he has money coming in, she'll stick around. But when the money's gone, your phone.
He gonna call home. That Cinder Palace gonna be just the empty. I can see her sending him off on an errand. Hey, babe, go to Utah and get some picnic tables for the backyard. I can see him coming back, giggling like a fool. And that damn house is empty as hell with a for sale sign where they got sold on the side of it.
Yeah, right.
That'll be his poetic justice right there. I'd pay to see that one.
He'll never let that air. He'll never let that scene air. Brothers, we can only hope. We can only hope. But I tell
Yes,
you
so
what,
well, I appreciate you for taking my call. I ain't gonna hold you up.
no, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, Megatron. Enjoy your
All
trip.
right.
You
Thank
know,
you.
watch the little ones, watch the tenders. They
Listen, I'm
sneaky
finna go to bed.
nowadays.
These children about to be on their own. Look, Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy Krueger get you. Let me know so because my car's parked right here beside this cabin.
That I keep my keys in my pocket. You know,
Something that part, little keys right here, because somebody got to live to tell this story, and it's
right,
gonna
right.
be me.
Somebody got to talk to Action News. Like,
Somebody got this. I'm telling you. Look, I'll make sure nobody forget you. I promise you.
right, well, thank
All
you so much for
right, I'll
calling in.
let you know, James. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Awesomeness. Making child out there living a life, taking care of the kids, creating those moments. See, that's what it's about. It's creating those moments. But let's go to Darlene Hall had something to say. Yes, James, we trust your advice and opinion from a man's perspective. Thank you so much, Darlene. I appreciate that. You know, try to give some fair and balanced, you know, as we enter into this 20th season of this foolishness. And I'm sure, like, as they move forward, we're about to wrap it up, guys, because we've been going for a while. But you know, as they enter into this point, I just want to make sure that we stay on TLC to try to elevate your content. I think that's all it comes down to. Try to elevate the content, because I don't think it does anybody any favors. Like, if you're really a supporter of Christine, Mary, Janelle, or even Cody and Robin, but if you're really a supporter of Christine, Mary, and Janelle, it doesn't do them any favors if the show gets canceled, because a lot of the things that they have um going for them is rooted around this show, which has basically become a certain point to a lot of their success and successes. As Christine and David were talking about, Christine competing with Janelle in their business. The business they were sharing was the MLM business, which is driven by their popularity on this show. You know, and for people who are on the show and think that, well, as soon as I leave, I'm gonna have all these opportunities. Look at Kate Gosselin. Kate Plus 8 was a bigger show than TLC in its heyday. It was a bigger show than Sister Wives. And when was the last time anybody has thrown Kate Gosselin, pitched a reality show to Kate Gosselin? She would do a story or show. Was that, like, I think the last time anybody really saw her of note was during Dancing with the Stars. But I think this is maybe the first time in a long time she's been mentioned on the stream or on a YouTube channel. So if they leave the family, yeah, there'll be groups that will talk about them leaving, and they left TLC, they canceled the show, and people will be sad about it for a little while. They might even do the remember the Brown family, but at the end of the day, they just not gonna make it, man. It's not gonna be what they're not gonna be remembered. They're not gonna be talked about. Like, they'll talk about you as long as you're doing the show and putting out content for the show. But the second the show is over, it'll be on to the next. And so if we want to really support them, you don't support them in silence. You support them by encouraging them to try to improve their output, their content, so that people continue to watch and continue to support them. That's my take. But I appreciate everybody who called in. Let me give a special shout out to everybody who left super chats. We had Inhalation Aerosols in the house. Thank you so much for coming through, Inhalation Aerosol. Appreciate the call too. Jody Periscala, Betty Aldridge. Betty called in, but she disconnected. So a big shout out to Betty and a salute to her for being awesome. And then we had, of course, the comment from Darlene Hall. Appreciate that. As well as we got to look out for the Carmel Cuties that also called in. Carmel Cuties called in. And let's see. Oh, Lizzie B just gifted one My Take on Reality membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. Make sure you guys tune in for the Sunday show or Saturday show where we do the noontime roundtable with everybody. It's awesome. Make sure you hit that like button as well. Thank you so much. And let's give Lizzie B a little something, something, because she's a mega mod.
In a plural family,
That's not a little something, something. In a plural family. They're talking about the marriage certificate. Old clip I had. Here's something for Lizzie B though. All right, I don't know who this is. Hello?
Hello, James. How are you?
Doing well. How's everything?
It's all doing really nicely, actually. We've been doing a lot. I'm very busy. So I haven't gotten really a chance to, watch the new episode. How do you like it?
It's a little slow.
Well, it's true, right? So what's been going on is, tell me. I want you to spoil it for me because I'm not going to be able to watch it. We're doing a nice, big, beautiful speech tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to do it.
You're not gonna be able to do. You refuse. Well, I mean, running a free world is probably more pressing than watching Sister Wives, I'd imagine.
It is, You got a lot of things to do, a lot of peace to make. I settled 8 wars, and I got to settle a 9th, so I'm very busy.
So you have is that on your dream board? Your wish board?
What?
Like your wish board, the things that you want to happen, come true?
I think we're going to make it come true. It's not a wish. We have to make it come true. You can't have World War III. You can't have it. It's not good. If that happens, we got a lot of problems, It's not going to be good for season 20, episode 4, is it? It's not going to be good.
Say we won't make it. Yeah, we do a World War III. We probably won't make it to Sister Wives season 21. That definitely be out.
That's true.
And
you better have a little bit of faith, okay? Because Putin has been up my ass recently. He's been talking a lot about. He doesn't like this show. Actually, he's a hater. He doesn't like this show. He wants it to end now. He wants it to end so fast. And I keep telling him, I say, Vladimir, we gotta watch it together maybe sometime. Maybe you'll get into it.
I'm telling you, maybe you guys can negotiate some things. In that war in Ukraine over some Cody Brown exploits. Maybe you guys can go out and cut down some trees together.
Cut down the trees, like the Lorax. Remember the Lorax? I watched that. That was
the orange guy with the big nose.
Well, we know some people that I like that, but I think it's great. Now we have a lot of things to look forward to, a lot of peace to look forward to, a lot of the fake news will say a lot of bad things about this show. I guarantee it. If I promote this show, they'll say, "Oh, this is the worst show in the history of the world." If I say it's a bad show, they'll say Donald Trump said that Sister Wives season 20, episode 3 was the worst episode or the best episode. They'll say a lot of bad things, but they'll spin it around. They'll make it like one of those No Kings protests, but it'll be No Sister Wives protests, right?
No Sister Wives protests. Hey, there you go. Maybe you get yourself a little cover.
True. All right. Well, I hope the whole season comes out and we don't have any problems with Vladimir. So I want to come in and say, James, that you're doing a fantastic job, reporting it all, and by far one of the best reporters on nice shows and nice movies and everything else. So God bless you and have a great rest of your night, okay?
All right. Thank you, President Trump. I appreciate it. Thank you for the call.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. You stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble, brother. See, you never know who's listening. This whole time I've been saying TLC. I didn't know it was Trump. I didn't know he was checking me out. That was amazing. That was probably the best impersonation of him I've ever heard. Who knows? Maybe it could have been him. We'll leave that there. But yeah. But thank you to all the callers, including President Trump, who calls in and tells us about Putin and stuff. Who cares? What the hell, James? You never know. You never look. I didn't realize he was a Sister Wife fan. I wouldn't have called that. I wouldn't have bet anything on that. Like, I know I have a dollar limit on my bets, but that dude, I don't know. Like what? If anything, I think he might be more of a Cody man. Like, Kathy says, see, James can talk to anybody. Oh man, that was awesome. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Megatron, you stay out of trouble. Megatron, like, I'm out here in the woods with these kids. That's all right. That's all right. But I appreciate you guys calling in and hanging out with us and making this show all that it can be, because it's going to be awesome. We have some good things coming up, guys. I will be showing this Sunday, actually for Speak Pipe. I think either Speak Pipe or Sunday, depending on if I can finish it or not. I will be revealing the piece I was working on. I'll be revealing that. I have the stage pictures, like from the time I did a little woodworking. So it's like from when it started to like before I painted it to what it looks like now. So keep an eye out for that. Look forward to that. Also, I'm going to have some videos coming out soon. I just got to get my spot set up. Linda, you are a carpenter. Yeah, try to be a jack of all trade, master of none. Better to be a jack of be good at all things and master of one. I think that's the way it works. But I'll have to look it up because it's going to drive me crazy. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate everybody. I want to give a special shout out as I was about to leave to the Mega Mod squad. We have Lizzie B, Brittany Not Brittany, and Carmo Cuties. I appreciate you guys holding us down, keeping the area safe. I saw where you eliminated one. I appreciate that. But thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I appreciate you. I will talk to you soon, hopefully, God willing. I'll talk to you on Thursday, and then for the Speak Pipe. And if you guys want to call for Speak Pipe, let me see if I have that information. If you guys want to do Speak Pipe, just hit speakpipe.com/my-take-on-reality and let me know what you guys think about what we're talking about. All right. And especially if you guys want to answer or address the idea of like, how can we improve some of the storylines? What are some storylines that you guys will be interested in seeing? I'm curious about it. And even if you want to respond to like, something that was suggested earlier, like how many are ready to retire? How many of you are actually watching the show? I'm curious now. All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys. I had an amazing time. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Don't let nobody else ever tell you that you're not, because you're all amazing. All right. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been My Take on Reality.